All right, we back again with boxing trainer, esteemed boxing trainer Fareed Samad. We're going to talk about a multitude of topics today in the sport of boxing. Uh, you're in Denver right now, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Let's get it started.
Unbelievable! You want to throw sometime? Bang! Oh, my God! Okay, Chip. 7 rounds to 2.
All right, thanks for hooking up with me today. Just like you, I've been real busy. I had like a 13-day show run that I just finished up. So that
Right.
was good. Now I got a little bit of free time to kind of do some other stuff, catch up on some stuff I haven't been able to catch up on. So what's good with you real quick? What you up to right now currently?
Well, right now I'm in Denver, Colorado. I had some guys scheduled to fight the May 4th card, but they got hurt. One got hurt. One didn't get a fight. They're on the Mayweather Promotions. Cormel didn't fight. He had to hurt his elbow, and then Jahan Ingram, he didn't get a fight, or they didn't have nobody for him. So it's a lot of mess.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then I got a little break, and then I trained some MMA UFC fighters here.
Oh, okay.
So I came over here to do help out, and also there's a boxer here that I was working with, helping him out, tweak a couple of things.
So you help them with just those MMA guys? You help them with their striking or anything else
course.
in particular, conditioning or?
Listen, you get on the ground, that's all you, baby. You got to get, if you get up, I can help you. I can tell you what to do, how to move your feet. You know what I'm saying? The distance, all that stuff. Even with the kicking, I can tell you like the distance, all that. But if you get on the ground, it's all on you. I can't help you. So I'm just.
So is this something new to you, or you've been working with MMA fighters for quite some time, or
a long time?
Long time.
I used to train at the Grudge in Denver, Colorado. Everybody knows like the Grudge is a big, well-known place. I used to train Rashad Evans, Shane Carwin, Nate Marquardt, all those guys. So I've been doing this for a while.
Right on. So we only got a half hour. I would love to like kind of delve into that a little bit more in another show. But we got some different topics. We kind of haven't been able to hook up for a minute. So some big fights past us and a big fight this weekend. We're going to talk about the big fight this weekend, heavyweight unification. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. They're both undefeated champions. Usyk has 3 of the titles. I believe Tyson Fury has the WBC heavyweight title. Just give your outlook, thoughts on this. You got a prediction? You want to give a prediction who you think's going to win, or how you think this fight's going to play out?
No prediction. But I'm favoring Tyson Fury, even though they're both winners. They are both strong-minded, strong-willed. Usyk definitely is a sharp boxer, can move his feet. Now, this may sound rhetorical, but he don't like body shots. And nobody really likes to hit in the body, but he shows and displays every time he gets hit in the body. He really like keels over or shows it. So I think Tyson Fury is going to use his boxing skills and use his weight to start pushing him back, making it dirty as possible and going to the body. So I'm giving it to Tyson Fury.
So I mean, people they always talk about fighters going to the body. It's not as difficult as it appears to just go to a guy's body. So why are a lot of fighters, you think, reluctant to throw body shots? Can you, as you being a trainer, I'm sure you could give some education on that.
I think it's kind of like, I would say, lazy, because they don't want to bend their knees. Like fighters don't want to really bend their knees. Like a lot of fighters, they don't really want to do like wall sits and low squats. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to they just want to use their hip flexor muscles a little bit. They don't really want to bend their knees. And with that being said, they're on their toes. They want to punch straight across. They don't really want to bend their knees to dig down and go to the body. So it's just something that has to be taught in the gym and has to be dictated through their trainer over and over again so they can do it.
So that's just because of their training to do the proper exercise to better body pressure.
I really just think it's teaching. Like it's easy to punch a straight line. Closest distance to 2 points is a straight line. So punching straight is to the head, or the shoulders or whatever the case is. So I think it's easier just to go that way. So they don't like to bend their knees, and they're not trained on it to bend their knees and get down low and things like that. So that's what happens.
All right. So in this one, you didn't really give a prediction, but you're kind of leaning towards Fury, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Even though I'm a southpaw, so I'm impartial to southpaws. I just think that Fury is going to. He's not going to do with Joshua. Anthony Joshua lost a lot of weight, but he lost weight so he could box and go the distance, which you can't outbox a master boxer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think Fury's, even though he lost a lot of weight, he's still going to use his size and his weight to push on him and to make it dirt. He'll start off boxing. If he don't catch him on the outside, he's going to go inside and adjust and make it like a dirty boxing match.
So this is just my thought, because I see a lot of people saying that he's going to use his size, but if you're 6'9" and you got a long reach advantage, wouldn't it make more sense to make the shorter guy kind of come towards you and just kind of pick him off while he tries to get on the inside? And then if he does get on the inside, just tie him up. Don't you think that's a more sensible strategy? Or what do you think about my analogy there?
That's a good analogy, but you also have to know what you're dealing with as far as, even though you're 6'9", you have long arms, who's the better boxer? Like the southpaw is a better boxer. He's coming from the other side, not the natural side of fighting the orthodox guys. So he's actually going to the right, which is going to your left. And then he has better foot movement and foot skills. So those, so it would take him to start off boxing. And then when he get it, place his punches and then just get inside and use your body and use your weight against them.
Yeah, kind of like what Lennox Lewis did to Mike Tyson. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, boxed him, and then when Mike Tyson came in, he pushed him down, and he also he came on a little bit. But I just think that you should be a little more aggressive with your boxing coming forward with Tyson Fury and Usyk. Placing your shots to the body first, long range, and then when you get inside and see what works. If that doesn't work, get in the inside, make it dirty. You know what I'm saying, and make it gritty.
Yeah, I think that makes 100% sense. It's an interesting fight. It's just to see what tactics each guy are going to use. I think if you're Usyk, is probably more going to be a one-dimensional tactic, because really, he's a boxer. He's not a puncher. To kind of think of how Tyson Fury is going to approach the fight is probably a little bit, there's some more nuance there to what you're expecting him to do. It's not very clear what his strategy is going to be. And I think that's probably what's going to give Usyk, quite a bit of problems. I agree with you. I think for a guy that's 6'9" and that has the kind of skills that Tyson Fury has, I think it would be an upset for him to lose to a much smaller cruiserweight. He's not a cruiserweight anymore, but he's a naturally much smaller guy, and he's not a big puncher. So Fury should be able to pull off a decision, but obviously we saw how bad he looked against Francis Ngannou, so anything here is possible. But just to move on from that, this is something that we didn't get a chance to talk about, unfortunately. But do you want to review the fight, or do you kind of just give me just a quick, maybe 30-second review of what occurred there?
I used to train Devin Haney before, and I gave his dad like some things that needed to work on, and they never fixed them. So, and it really showed. He can punch. He punches hard with both hands, but he's never in place. He never transitioned his weight to punch. So that's what's going to happen. And then also, he didn't have nothing to keep Ryan off of him. Ryan didn't respect his power. Ryan got hit one good time, but he didn't respect his power. He walked him down with Shirley, and he just punched. He was the harder puncher of the two. He had the faster jab, faster hook. I I talked about Devin's defense too, like working on his defense sharper. His hand is in the wrong position when he's trying to shoulder roll, and he got caught. It just got exposed.
Yeah.
So I can't do if they fight 10 times. I mean, and really, the only chance I gave Devin is when he got hurt. But then when he came on, he started getting closer on the inside. Ryan doesn't fight well on the inside, and I didn't hear his corner adjusting or say, hey, just stay in close, stay on him, make it ugly. And I think that's the only chance he had winning is to stay in the inside and to disrupt Ryan Garcia's rhythm because Ryan can't fight in the inside. So
yeah.
I think that
Ryan's kind of a mid-range fighter. He's
Yeah.
not really good from the outside and he's not really good inside. But if you stay in that mid-range, that's when you get caught.
Nah, he's good for long range and mid range. He's not good. Not good when you right on him just like that. You know, as you can see, it's kind of ugly. So you just stay on him like that, and he would have squeaked out a decision, and it would have been an ugly fight, but he would have won. But he was mid range. That's how he got caught. He got caught mid range. Got caught with the hook mid range. Got caught with the right hand. He got caught with the hook. So, you know, but
I think in the fight, I think he was like. After the first round when he got caught, I thought he was kind of trying to stay a little bit closer.
He was.
Something that Haney does, and you could probably attest to this, is when he moves out of the pocket, he kind of moves back out in a straight line. And I think that's where he was getting caught with those hooks. He was not being responsible on his way out when he was kind of probably trying to reset or whatnot on his way out of the pocket. And because Garcia, I don't know. There's probably just things they did not train for, like you said. I think they just didn't. They weren't as responsible defensively. Weren't giving Garcia a whole lot of respect before the fight. I don't think. I think they kind of just overlooked him a little bit.
There's no way in the world he should have been ill prepared for that. They fought 6 times in the amateur. He should have known this guy. You know, like knowing that. What's his attributes? You know, you watch him all the time. You should know his attributes. So he should have stayed in the inside, and he shouldn't have looked to back out or get out. He should have just stayed and made Ryan back up and get out, but not him back up. So you know, hey, you know, it happens. It's life experience.
So how much of this loss do you attribute to this whole PED scandal that's going on? He tested. Well, okay, so just let me just give a little background for anybody who doesn't know. Ryan Garcia, he did make the weight. He was 3 pounds over the weight. Didn't appear like he even tried to make the weight at all. Devin Haney, obviously a big kid also, killed himself to make 140 pounds. Not to take anything away from Garcia. He did fight a good fight, but he also tested positive for a banned substance. How much do you attribute his victory to that? I don't want to give you make a percentage, but just your views on how much of effect that had and if that really played a huge part or a minimal part in his victory, or was it more just tactics that led to the loss?
It's poor planning, I think, but I don't really know about the testing positive because, you know, now he's tested negative. So it's just like, trace amounts. I don't understand it. I don't know it. Like, you know, so he's guilty, then he's not guilty, then he's guilty again. I don't know because his second.
He was one of the. I think the one ban or the substance Ostarine that was still in his system. I think so. I don't want to delve too much into that because obviously I think the B sample hasn't been. The lab results have not come back, I believe, for that yet. But the other one they did throw out. But let's just say
how many times did he get tested, or how many samples was tested negative or positive? So I don't know because they said that
there was two separate substances that he tested positive for the day of and the day after the fight. So before and after the fight, he didn't test positive for anything in the VADA tests, in the random tests, which is somewhat unusual, but there could be answers for that also.
Yeah,
so, but yeah, it's something to think about, but obviously, so let's scratch the drug testing thing because obviously there isn't a whole lot of clarity there yet, and maybe we'll have more clarity in the future. But what about the 3 pounds weight? Do you attribute that to Haney not being able to take Garcia's punch, or Garcia being maybe a little bit stronger and more having more confidence in his abilities because of those 3 pounds he didn't have to take off?
I think that most of the guys Devin have fought, like even Tank said, is smaller than him. So he's going up. He's up in weight and he goes down and he fights the guys. Day of the fight, he's 20 pounds more than the guys. So this time was actually somebody his own size. So and then that happened. So
so essentially, what you're saying is he met his match this time and he just didn't have the firepower to kind of
keep the
put him
guy
away or get his respect.
yeah, keep the
Yeah.
guy up. So
Yeah, that's what it appeared to me is Garcia was not concerned whatsoever about Devin Haney's power. And I wouldn't say he walked through him, but because he didn't really throw a whole lot of punches. I mean, he was pretty much just trying to set up one shot. And for some reason, Haney just didn't know how to get out of the way of it, which was very surprising considering he's known as being a pretty good defensive fighter, at least up until this bout.
yeah. Man, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
fighting smaller guys. He's fighting small. He's fighting small guys in weight, so he can stay in the pocket and block and catch. When he fights somebody his own size, he can't block and catch those. So I don't know, But at the end of the day, they'll figure it out. But he was just talking about that. The New York, they got some lawyers together that he should get the W out of the deal. There's no way in the world he should get the win because he did lose. But if anything, he should get a draw, no contest. Same thing like when James Toney fought Andy Ruiz for a heavyweight title and he won, but he had testosterone in his body because he had a bicep tear. He looked horrible, like body weight. You know what I'm saying? Just same thing with like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia didn't look good, like impressive his body. He just was big. And he did look like he was like throwing a lot of punches, like the drug's supposed to do, keep you stronger and let you throw a lot of punches. He didn't do that either. So I don't know the whole situation. I just know that, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a W. It should be a no contest. There's no way in the world he should. Now, maybe they should mark his loss to a no contest, which I think is right. If he did.
I think at the very least it should be a no contest. I mean,
never a win.
There's a lot of advantages that Ryan Garcia had over Haney. Obviously, Haney is somebody that blows up from the weigh-in to the day of the fight, also, and he kind of let Ryan Garcia beat him at his own game for the lack of Ryan Garcia beat him at his own game. I mean, he really did. So moving on from here. It's really hard to say, but I'm just going to ask you, just give your thoughts real quick. What happens with Ryan Garcia? Let's just say, let's do hypothetical. This I guess, supposed, drug test stands and he gets suspended. Where does he go? I mean, who does he fight?
If he gets suspended, he's suspended for a year at least. Same thing with Alicia. Like if you notice, the situation with her, she tested 2 positive things. And they just kept going back and forth. But you notice
who is this? I didn't hear the name you said.
Gardner.
Oh, Alicia Baumgardner. Okay.
Yeah, she got suspended for a year. Like I said, indefinitely, but it's for a year. She's supposed to fight here soon, so it's actually been a year that she's been suspended. Okay. So he should get suspended because it's his first offense, just like first get suspended for a year, and then after that year, figure out what he's going to do. Like
and do you think a year suspension is fair for somebody, testing positive for a banned substance? Because Ryan Garcia, some of these fighters, they only fight once a year anyway. So, I mean, what are they really suffering?
I think a year is good. Yeah, year, and, you get suspended in a fine or something like that. I think a year. I think a year is good.
So now,
and also, when you get to a certain level in boxing, a certain level in life, you can't like grab juices from anybody. You can't even shake nobody's hand. Like really, like Barry Bonds. Remember the time Barry Bonds, they had the steroids that you could put on the elbows or
the cream? Yeah.
Yeah. You can't shake nobody's hand. That could still get into you. So there's a lot that goes on. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that goes on now. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be smart and wise to to what's going on. Like, say you give me a protein shake, and I'll be like, "Oh man, I bought your protein shake. You know, I got it from so and so, and you put something in it, and it's
Yeah.
trade. You know what I'm saying? Something that. So you have to be really really careful. I'm not saying he did it or he didn't do it. I just know if he
So
did, it's his first time.
how difficult is it for a trainer to monitor what their fighters are taking? I mean, is that
Oh yeah, well, that's not the trainer's job, but it's 24/7. You don't live with the fighter.
yeah.
You train a fighter maybe 6 hours. You might see fighters 6 hours out of the day, maybe let's say 8 hours out of the day. You know what I'm saying? You got the rest of the time, 16 hours. You got 16 hours, right? If I'm not correct, 16 hours to do whatever. And so it's like, you can't monitor them
So
day and
are the majority of the fighters uneducated on what substances are legal and legal, or are they most of them very ignorant on what is allowed and what's not? Is that a question I could ask you, or is that just
no, really even it all depends on if they were on an amateur. If you were on an amateur level, the amateur had testing all the time. And the amateurs, you couldn't even use the nose spray. Like the nose spray, like if you had
the nasal I
yeah,
think that's on the bad substance list also
yeah,
in
that's for
the
sure.
UK.
But
In
yeah,
the
yeah,
UK, UCAD, you cannot use the nasal spray.
right. But it's just certain things you couldn't use. You had to
Yeah.
write it down. So if you were an amateur's top level, you know that you couldn't use crap. So
Yeah.
really, so but if you just turn pro, you have to learn these things. Like you have to be educated and you have to talk to the guys and let them know about what's going on. And then when they do the
Okay.
or whatever type of testing, they have to show them like what they need to get, what they can't use. You can't use certain over the counter
Right.
medicine, things like that. So
So Vada is educating these fighters on what substances are
they educating the fighters or not, but I'm quite sure they should be like, this is a list of stuff that's you should
okay.
be using. You know
Well, I
what I'm
guess
saying?
at the end of the day, it's your own responsibility to kind of find out what you should be taking, what's legal and what's not. I mean that's my personal opinion, but it's I mean you're a professional, you're responsible for what you put in your body, so that's my look on it. Moving on to Devin Haney quickly. What's his future? Do you see him coming back this year? And if so, who is he going to fight, or is that just too early
I
to
don't
say?
I don't know what's going on. Like now he didn't get like beat. He took a lot. He took some hard shots. Like I think that he took some hard shots to where he might have concussed. You know what I'm saying? He took some really really hard shots like that. I mean, he's a warrior too. Don't get me wrong, because the
Yeah.
last got hit and he rolled over on his side. I didn't think he was getting up, but he still got up and he still continued. So he took a lot of hard shots. So he's gonna have to, but he's young too. So he's gonna have to brush that off and get himself together, get a brain scan just to see how you feel and whatever, and then go from there. But they're saying that he already has a mandatory. This is what I don't like about boxing. If you have a title, you go up in a weight class, but you had a weight class in a lower title or whatever the case is, you have a mandatory within 90 days. So, like the punishment he took off those hooks and those right hands, 90 days later, he's supposed to fight somebody else because he has the title. So, I think he should take a break. He shouldn't fight within 90 days. He should try to get out of that or just relinquish his title and then go for something else down the line. And he's talking about moving up to 147. So I don't know what's in his future. I just think that whatever happened, he should work out, train, regroup, think about what he's going to do, heal, get himself healed mentally and physically, and then go from there.
Yeah, it's and there's a lot of killers at 142, so you
Oh,
better be careful who he comes
I would,
back to
I,
fight.
I would say I would
Um,
give my title up. He's talking about moving to 47, but I would give my title up at 40 because the title, he already got the title. He made history with that. He should just give the title up because 90 days to fight 90 days after that situation, I think he should just, give the title up. And then if he wants to stay at 40, fight again. If not, go up to 47 and fight.
yeah, but it's I mean, there's a lot of if he's not taking punches well at 140 or at 140, he can be in trouble at
One,
147.
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely it's going to be rough moving forward for Devin Haney, especially considering he couldn't punch at 135, he couldn't punch at 140, and I don't see him being a puncher at
Well, let
147.
me say again. I've trained him and I've held him from. He actually can punch. It's just the idea that he doesn't sit there. He's looking to leave or exit before he punches. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of things. But when he's sitting down,
He's thinking about defense. He's basically thinking about defense before his offense, so that's why he doesn't sit down on his shots.
Yeah.
Kind of like Tyson Fury was doing in that first fight against Deontay Wilder, and then the second fight he started sitting down on his punches, and he got him out of there.
And he also, if you look at any videos and you look at videos of him hitting the bag, he doesn't transition his weight to punch, to use his weight to transition weight from the left side to the right side to get the full power out of his punch. You know, so and that has a lot to do with it too. That's what I explained to him when I was training him, and I told him, you know, you got to transition your weight when you're throwing your right hook to your left hook. You got to go from the left side to the right side, transition that weight and explode. But he's not doing that. So that has a lot to do with his punching.
But sometimes sitting down in your punches also has to do with having confidence that you could take a punch, because you got to have confidence to take a shot, to give a shot, and if you don't have a good jaw, that's, you know, that might be a detriment also.
Well, this is the idea. Boxing is the art of hit and get hit, but you're going to get hit in boxing. You know, boxing is all oxymoron sport. So, but if you transition your weight, like if somebody throws the right hand and you slip over, you transition your weight, you're not going to get hit. So you might as well turn your body weight and throw and explode with the whole shot. Put your weight down here and then turn over here. But he doesn't do that. So it's just like, what's the use? So, you know, I explained it to him before. You know, they wanted to go a different route. I'm happy for him. You know, sometimes you get what you get. So
you take the good with the bad, and you know, unfortunately, this last fight he didn't look good. He looked bad. Man, did you expect? I don't know if we even talked about it before the fight. Was that unexpected to you that he lost to Garcia in that manner, or was that something that you maybe could perceive occurring?
I thought.
Was it a shocker to you? Is that he's
Nah,
easier?
it wasn't a shocker. It wasn't a shocker. It wasn't a shocker. It wasn't a shocker at all. I thought it was like I just didn't think that Devin had enough to keep that man off of him because of I've actually, you know, I always bet when people always say make bets, I bet as my life depended on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was rooting for Devin and I thought he would win by a narrow decision. But they say if you bet your life on it, who would you bet on? I bet on Ryan Garcia because I knew that Ryan was a harder puncher. I knew because he came at Tank. See, Tank gave him something to keep him off of him. Devin doesn't have that. And Tank also rolled under the hook. Devin's stance be too wide. He can't roll under. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why he does a shoulder roll. So I didn't have Devin winning the fight.
Okay.
I wanted him to win, and I went with all 50-50. I think Devin will win a decision, you know, because I know with the politics in the boxing, I thought he would win the decision. As you can see, the fight was still close. But if I had to bet my life on it, I would bet on Ryan Garcia to win.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, you worked with the guy, so maybe that's why you have a completely different perspective. And you worked with him from like the crib almost. So
yeah. I worked on his first three professional bouts. I worked with him as an amateur in his first three professional bouts. I think 2 or 3 professional bouts.
Okay, so you did work with him in his amateur career for
a little
towards the tail end, or
towards the tail end and then the pro.
Okay, man, let's move on from that because we don't have much time. Canelo, the big question we always ask. Well, actually, first I'm just gonna ask before I ask what's next. I'm going to ask you, what did you think of his performance over Jaime Munguia? Did that impress you, or were you just like, oh, okay, he's just fighting another guy that's inexperienced?
It didn't impress me at all. I actually thought he carried Jaime Garcia. I thought he had him hurt.
Really?
Yeah, he had him hurt, had him down, like hitting him with the body shots, and he had him hurt. But when he hit him with the body shot, like 7th or 8th round, I don't know what round it was, but he had him hurt, and I think he laid off of him. I think he could have stopped.
And was that Was that because he doesn't have the killer instinct anymore, or is that just because
But it could be
he
because it could have been it was his Mexican brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what's going through his mind. But I know that I thought that he could have stopped him, especially when he hit him with that body shot and he like froze him. I thought that he could have stayed on that body and he could have got him out of there, but
yeah.
he lifted off the gas. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I thought that he carried him. That's just me myself.
Yeah.
He still won the fight. I thought he won the fight.
I keep hearing that, and I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence there. Um, what about Munguia's performance? Did he impress you? Did he look better than you expected, or was he just typical Jaime Munguia, just going in there
He
with
didn't
no
look better than I
defense?
expected at all, but he looked better because I think him training. I like Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is one of my favorite trainers, and Freddie Roach comes from there's a tree, you know, and it has some branches. He comes from Eddie Futch, which Eddie Futch is my favorite all-time trainer.
Okay.
Georgie Benton, who trained me, who had Freddie Roach. So he come from that stem. So and you can see the teaching. But he didn't impress me or say, oh man, Jaime looks good. He did this, he did that. It didn't impress me at all. He just looked better. He looked fundamentally
Yeah.
better.
I thought he looked better. But I think what happened in that fight was the first 3 rounds, you could see he was kind of staying on the outside. And he doesn't have the boxing IQ to stick to a game plan. It's like as soon as he gets hit a couple of times, he just kind of starts to revert back to what he does, and that's brawl. You know, he was staying in the pocket with Canelo, which is a big
Yeah.
no-no. And that's when he got caught. Whenever he was on the outside, I mean, he wasn't really landing a whole lot, but he wasn't getting hit a lot.
Real
So
accurate.
yeah.
Comes
So
with
yeah.
It comes with discipline. That comes with drilling things over and over again. It comes with discipline. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have the discipline yet to go 12 rounds of boxing and not get into a brawl or a fight. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have that discipline yet. But I think with Freddie Roach, he'll get better and better.
All right, so the $200 million question that I'm going to ask you, what's next for Canelo? Or $250 million question?
I don't know if you heard, but the IBF just made some guy who I don't even know the mandatory fight.
Edgar Berlanga?
No, not even Edward Berlanga. And I don't even think Edward Berlanga belongs in the ring with him.
No,
But
he'll get slaughtered.
IBF made somebody else who I don't even know the mandatory for him to fight in the next 90 days or whatever the case is. So,
okay. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. In September, he's supposed to fight this guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know the guy.
That ain't no.
I was like, oh my gosh.
All right, so that's I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he okay? Because I don't want I mean we get to probably talk about this until Canelo retires.
Okay.
Is he ever gonna fight David Benavidez, or is that fight just off the table, or what's the deal there?
I actually agree with Canelo. I'm a David Benavidez fan. I was just in Florida, Miami, training with him with Boxer Gym. Shout out to Boxer, BOXER Gym. One of the best gyms. The gym I've ever been to in my life. Like the UFC PSI is number one and the number one best gym I ever been in my life. And the Boxer Gym in Miami is number two by far, the gyms I ever been to. But with that being said, I don't know because let me get back. Canelo I understand and I agree with him, even though I'm a David Benavidez fan. He's like, I'm not fighting him for $30 million or $40 million. Like, I could fight anybody, which he could fight as mandatory. If you want to fight, he's like, if he wants to fight me, they have to give me $100 million, $150 million, which I understand because the risk versus the reward, he says, shit, if I'm going to risk this, you know what I'm saying? I want to get a big reward because he can fight anybody. He can fight Berlanga. Like he fought this kid here and got, $35 million or $33 million. He's going to fight. If he fights Berlanga in September, he gets $33 million check. You know what I'm saying? Which is, he's going to get more. If he fights the mandatory, he gets $35 million. So why would he fight Benavidez which we want to see. But Benavidez is more of a risk than a
Right.
reward. So he's like, if I'm gonna fight him, you're gonna have to give me some big paper. You know what I'm saying?
So okay? Because I know we can go back and talk about this for probably like an hour. What's a reasonable number that you think he should be asking for? Because I think 150 million is pure insanity. This isn't Mayweather Pacquiao we're talking about here. It's not that big of a fight.
It's a close
But
thing.
it's a big fight. So what's a number? Just give me a number that I think would be in the realm of sanity.
I would ask if he gets 30. I would ask for a check no less than 55 to 75 million dollars.
Okay.
Do with the sponsorships and all that stuff. I would ask for my most ever money check wise.
And who's I think we discussed this. Who's paying for that?
I mean, Sheik in Saudi will pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Sheik paying nice money. He's giving that money away to all these guys. And then, hey, somebody can find that money. If they really want that fight to happen, they'll find the money.
All right.
Yeah, look,
I don't know.
Floyd got
70, 75, and how much out of that is Benavidez gonna get? He's gonna get how much? So if Canelo's getting 75, what's Benavidez getting? I'm not trying to count other people's money or anything because it's really not something that interests me too much. But I'm just wondering how much money you think it's gonna take to make this fight happen.
I have a slice idea. I'm just saying you're just asking about Canelo. I just had a slice idea what Benavidez is going to get. I just know that if I was
5
Canelo,
million,
this is what I would be asking. Nah, he should get at least 15.
Wow.
$15 million dollars.
I don't know. I don't think Canelo wants to pay nobody nothing. He's like, I make 100 million, I give you 2 million.
He should at least get $15 out of the deal.
Give him a couple t-shirts. Give him a couple t-shirts or something.
I think the most he's made, Benavidez has made is 5 million.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
you could give him 10 million. I think 10 million is a reasonable amount.
10 or 15, and then
if he wins the fight and they have a rematch, then he can ask for big money.
And then he gets sponsors. He gets sponsors money, so he could run away with. If he gets $10 million check, he could run away with like a $40 million, $30 million out of the deal. So when Pacquiao and Floyd fought each other, which was later in their career, much later in their career, and they got all that money. Floyd got $100 million, but nobody talks about how Pacquiao got $80 million.
I think Floyd got more than 100 million.
No. We talking about the check. We ain't talking about the after effect. We talking about
okay.
The check was 100 million. So I saw it. Pacquiao's check was 80 million. Yeah. We're not sponsors because total Floyd made over 217 or 220 million dollars.
Okay.
But he made $100 million check. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the commission check, and the other is just the back end for pay-per-view.
Yes.
Got you.
So that's so with that being said, it's like, okay, 100, and he got that's a lot of money. So
all right, so since we're discussing it, we don't have much time since we're already on the topic. Who wins that fight? If the fight happens in September, who wins that fight?
David Benavidez.
Are you 100? So how does he go about winning the fight?
I'm 100% sure. You know what I'm saying? Because life is a gamble. But I'm saying if I had to bet my life on the fight, I'm going Benavidez.
And how do you perceive that fight playing out?
He punches and combinations. He punches a lot. He's really, really active. Same thing, and he uses his jab. He boxes. He gets in. He punches a lot. Same thing with B-Ball when he fought Canelo. Canelo has to punch in between, which he does punch. He's going to get some punches off. He's going to, some sharp punches off. But it's too much of a volume for.
Canelo's too economical with his punches.
Yeah. So if I had to bet if I'm betting on the fight, and then like I said, I'm betting my life on it, no matter who I like, you know what I'm saying, I would bet on Benavidez.
I co-sign with you there. I think Benavidez is just too much. He's too busy, too active. He's got a good chin. and I don't, and I think he'll be smart enough not to let Canelo land all those body shots, and
Right.
he'll be smart enough not to be getting hit too often against Canelo. And I think if he
Right.
does get hit, I think he'll be able to take Canelo's punches. I mean, some of these other guys, if John Ryder can go the distance with Canelo, I don't think David Benavidez has nothing to fear. I mean, Canelo is not gonna do enough damage to deter his volume attack. I think he's just gonna be too busy.
Perfect. Said.
Powerful enough to get Canelo's respect, where Canelo's not just going to be throwing wild shots. His hands are going to be in his pocket a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's my assessment. I think I can definitely 100% agree with how you see that fight going. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
but we'll see. Do you have any more time for one more question, or you got somewhere to go, or
one more quick.
Okay, so I have 3 questions. I'm going to ask you which one you would like to answer. First question is best at 135. The other question is Tank, when is he going to step it up? And the other question is any fights not on the schedule right now do you want to see? So any of those 3 questions, decide which one you want to address here.
Tank is the best at 135. I would never bet against Tank. Tank is my Floyd Mayweather. No matter if he chooses to fight you, I know Tank is going to win. I'm not betting against him. Tank is my era of Floyd Mayweather. I've never bet against Floyd. So never bet against Tank.
So you saying that who do you see around those weights that you think can beat him right now? Or who would you give the best shot anyways? The best chance to beat Tank? Obviously, you said you think he's the best guy at that weight, but who would be bring the best out of him, the best challenge out of the guys around 135 and 140?
I don't think Tank will go up to 140. He went up that 140 one time to chase a belt to fight. I forgot the kid's name who won.
Mario Barrios. I think he looked good at 140. I don't see what the reluctance is to fight at 140 for him.
Well, he was also drinking back then. He changed his life around. He's in shape. He's like, if you watched him last week, he looked like he's at fight weight right now.
Okay. So
he changed his life around. So he knows that heavyweight. Now, don't get me wrong. He has a puncher's chance no matter where he go. But whatever weight it is. But I'm just saying he's a naturally 135. I'm quite sure that now he got his life right. He probably could make 30. Same thing with Lomachenko. Lomachenko is really a 126 pounder. He fighting 35. He fighting up in weight because of the challenges. But he's not that weight. That weight class is not for him. So with that said, I think I would love to see Tank versus Lomachenko will be my most exciting fight to see.
And how's that go? Tank by KO, or you see a scenario where Lomachenko can outbox him?
Tank wins, but I would love to see that fight. See, also about Lomachenko is Lomachenko comes forward. He doesn't just back up and box and move around like a southpaw, like trying to stay away. So he's actually going to be coming forward. So he's actually going to be participating. So that's going to be like a little clash. So I think that too will be like, as far as boxing knowledge and skills and seeing the moves that they make and what they do, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying on the strategy of I somebody was in the chat, they just left a comment, so I just wanted to just show it here. They said Usyk in the 9th round. Okay.
Tell them I'll bet on that. Tell them I'll bet on that. Tell them listen, follow me. The Pigeon. Follow me on Instagram, Train to Perfection. I'd like to bet you on that one. We don't even have to bet money. We could bet some push-ups or something. But you got to post the push-ups. You got to get online and post it. Give me a shout out while you're doing your push-ups. I'll bet on that one. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, everybody.
I don't see it. I don't see
yeah,
Usyk by stoppage at all. I mean, I really don't. But yeah, that's.
Yeah,
we're both going with Fury anyways. So at least you going with Usyk now? You change your mind?
Who, me?
Oh no, you're betting against Pigeon.
Yeah, I'm betting against Pigeon.
Okay, yeah. I don't see it.
Follow me on Instagram at Train to Perfection. Like, and send me a message. I'll bet you on that one. I'll bet you push-ups on that. You
Yeah,
know,
you know these fans is when they lose, they just go and hide. So
it's all good. It's all
yeah,
good.
he can do no push-ups if he loses. He'll change his name to some other bird or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's see. So 135. So I guess we're just gonna kind of leave it at that question. But obviously Tank is the best in your mind. Who's number 2?
I don't know. I would go with Shakur at number 2.
And him and Lomachenko, I think that's the that's a fight that's probably going to happen. I'm just going to say before we go, a fighter that is kind of being overlooked, who's a pretty good fighter. That I'd like to see with some of these guys is William Cepeda. He's under Golden Boy Promotions. I think he's like 29-0 with 25 knockouts. He's a volume puncher. Doesn't have the greatest defense, so that might be his Achilles heel, but he can punch. He throws a lot of punches. He seems like he can take a shot, like majority of Mexican fighters are usually. And actually, this kid trains with Subriel Matias up in like 10,000 foot elevation in Mexico. So you know he's well conditioned. He'll be a headache for anybody, you know. So I'd like to see him in with some of these other guys.
Yeah, but if your defense is shabby on the elite level, you're gonna get it's not working for you.
Well, I'm just saying his defense is not his strength. You know, his offense is his defense.
Right. Which guys who punch in between, that means you're coming forward, you're punching in between. I see him getting knocked out.
But the thing is, he can punch. He's a volume puncher with power. He's not just the slapper. So
yeah,
he definitely give these. He makes good fights. So I want to see him in with these guys. I wouldn't favor him against any of the guys we just mentioned, but he comes to fight. He comes to fight. I give him that.
Right. Yeah, he's a fighter. He's a fighter's dream. Like, people want to see good fights. They're not going to get a bad fight out of him. But I don't. Yeah, competitive.
Anything you want to say before you go? Let people know what you're up to. Just closing comments.
I got a couple of projects coming soon. Something big is in the works. People always say that, but I don't want to tell and then it doesn't happen. So it's kind of like you tell your kid you're going to do something, then you don't do it. So, but I got some things coming up in the works. You're going to see some, and that may be out of the country on this situation. Just follow me for more. My YouTube is Train to Perfection, and my Instagram is at Train to Perfection. The number 2, Train, the number 2, Perfection. You'll see my 2. I have my picture is my 2 French bulldogs on there, and I'll keep y'all posted. I'm gonna start doing videos on some more tutorials on teaching videos. Because everybody thinks they're a trainer or a teacher on Instagram, and half of the stuff be wrong, but they get so many followers that click like, and I just be like, oh my goodness. So my people said it's time for you to just go ahead and just like help people out and show what you know. So I'm going to start that here shortly.
Well, hey, you know me. I'm a professional video producer, so let's work on some videos together.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Well, let's stay in touch, and we'll talk after the fight, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this fight plays out. So once again, thank you so much, Fareed. Great show, great insight. Just a blessing to know somebody like you in the boxing business. It's very humbling for you to be on my show. Appreciate it once again. And say it again.
I said thank you. I appreciate you also.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's been a blessing. Once again, Fareed Samad, boxing trainer. Pay attention to this guy. He's moving up the ladder, and he deserves all the credit. All right, thanks again.
Thank you.